give us your overall thoughts on just another run-of-the-mill match here at home?
Gosh, to be a season ticket holder right now, we're giving them their money's worth for sure. Another crazy game in our stadium. Hoping for a calm one at some point where we put somebody away. But credit to Dallas, I think that they really, really fought hard tonight. There was no give up in them, and made our night difficult for sure. That's kind of my overall thoughts. I mean, I'm obviously very, very pleased to get the 3 points against what I think is a very difficult opponent.
Jason, you had 3 players that haven't seen a lot of minutes this year, in Tanaka, Rainish, and Alvarez. What are your thoughts on their performances tonight?
All 3 did well. All 3 did well. Obviously, Tanaka assisted on the first goal, which was a very nice cross on his part, and did well to get around his defender to get to the service. Donnie, I thought, had a pretty strong night, especially in the first half. I thought he was breaking up a ton of plays in the midfield. Was in the right spot a lot of times. Still can be a little bit cleaner on the ball for me, and I think that we will have a good chance to see improvement from him because we've got, hopefully an Open Cup game on Tuesday, and hopefully we take care of business and have another one next Tuesday, and he plays in both those matches. So we'll see some more improvement from him. And then Rainish had a strong night. Unfortunate that he didn't make that save. That was the goal line decision. I thought he did well with that play. I still haven't seen it, so I don't know whether it was the correct decision. I'm sure it was. And then the second goal, he probably needed to do better. But those things, I think, come from playing more.
How relieved do you suppose Kyle is after the way that finished?
I think he's probably pretty relieved in there. I hope he's going around and patting all the rest of the fellows on the back right now, especially Borchers.
Coach, you mentioned just now Borchers, but what about Sabo and his 2 goals? Nearly had a third.
Yeah, I'm really pleased for Sabo. I know it's been a difficult stretch where he hasn't been scoring with the regularity that he would like or the fans would like, but he's been putting in the work. So I'm appreciative that when somebody like that continues to work hard and then takes his chances, I'm very, very pleased. Now he leaves for Costa Rica, and I've told him that he needs to tell his coach that he's injured and can't play those games. So that was a joke.
With Tanaka's performance tonight, how do you feel about your depth at outside back?
Better than I did, for sure. It's one of those things that you watch players like that play in reserve games or play against BYU last week, and you maybe can get upset and think that he's maybe not exactly where we want him to be. But then to see him play in the big atmosphere with all the first team players surrounded by him, I thought he had a strong performance. So I feel a lot better about him right now than I did 2 hours ago.
Jason, what are your thoughts on kind of the attitude that your team displayed in the second half? Dallas keeps getting equalizers. They keep responding quickly to those equalizers.
Yeah, you're pleased. You're pleased with the resiliency of the group, and you're pleased that you can be resilient even when you're missing guys like Kyle Beckham and Nick Armando and Javier Morales, Chris Winger. That's 4 very, very strong leaders in our group that weren't out there tonight. So to be without them and to have the guys react the way they did is a very, very good sign.
Can you rate Nat's goal celebration?
There's a bit of a melee there. I'm not sure. It was probably the most excited goal scorer we've had this year, for sure.
Looked a bit like Jim Galvano.
I don't lose that. He's a basketball coach, right? Okay.
Long term.
Okay. No, I mean, obviously very, very pleased for Nat, captain for our group tonight. The leader, in a lot of ways, a very strong leader for our team for a long time, and has a tendency to score some pretty big goals on that ball situation. So, very pleased for him.
Just curious, your thoughts on the breakdown of the 2 halves. It seemed like the first half was maybe a little slow getting started, but then, of course, a big frenzy in the second half.
Yeah, I think the wind was very, very strong, I felt, against us, which made it a little bit difficult for us to clear our lines at some points. and allowed Dallas to keep a little higher pressure on us than I think they typically would. We had the one really, really good chance to score with Grabavoy. But other than that, I just felt like we were close, but not quite there. A lot of things, a lot of forays happening in the attacking third of the field that were just 1 foot this way or that way, and if the pass is connected, then we're probably in with a clear goal scoring chance. So I was pleased overall with the 45 minutes. I told them at halftime that with that kind of wind against us, we put ourselves in a very, very good place to be level at halftime, and really felt like the gates would open in the second half. Wasn't anticipating the gates to open against us, but was anticipating for us to score some goals, which we did.
Anything else?
Yeah, Jason, you mentioned the U.S. Open Cup games next week and potentially the second. How important is it for you? Did you feel like to get that once you play?
Really, really important. I was very much dreading that situation. We had done some research and found out that the flights were a disaster. We were going to have to probably fly tomorrow, and there's a chance that we were going to have to split our group up into 3 again, and it wasn't going to be an easy situation at all. So I'm extremely pleased that our ownership and our management stepped forward to make that happen for us, because with this break that we have, we need games. So it's an opportunity for us to win this first round and get ourselves another game to keep ourselves in the flow.
Without some of the players you'll still not have, then you'll lose a couple of additional ones.
Mhm.
I guess how do you feel about the group that will be left?
I think we should still have another really strong lineup out there. I'm going to put out nearly the best lineup that we have possible in this first game, which some teams wouldn't do, but I'm going to, because I think it's really important to our club. The tournament's important to us. We need to try to succeed in this tournament, and because we haven't done it before. And as I mentioned before, that the game the next week is really, really important for me, just to have another game to continue.
Just curious, do you know much about the Minnesota team?
I don't. My assistant coach has been watching quite a bit of them, Jeff Kassar. So we'll be talking over the next couple of days to try to get all that sorted out.
Okay.